I got my guys from the Darkroom here. I got Crazy, P1p3.
Do what I want, and what I want is what I do. Homie dropped out of school, but kept the G, I'm not the fool.
I got T.fVnk.
And I'm a pallbearer bearing it all. I'ma bury my sins and flaws for my final curtain.
Kontra.
I'm in las calles like my goons. I'm a typhoon, taking out tyrants and tycoons.
Come on.
Where's his aftermath?
He got deported.
But I'm still trying to ignore it, not important, but I'll be overseas at some point.
He's in the mother country, in Mexico.
God.
Yeah, we love Adapter. He's gonna get him back over here.
I got the coyotes ready.
Yeah.
Do what I want, and what I want is what I do. Suppress the superstition, the saying that you will lose.
How are you guys doing, man? I haven't seen you in a year and a half.
So do we get right into it? How we took shrooms with your dad and had a great time? Like,
Absolutely.
That was amazing.
You took shrooms with
how crazy how
I
to go
showed up
home.
late.
I was tripping my fucking ball.
Yeah, I was. But you know, we've been good, man, and we've been looking forward to having this sit down with you.
This is a long time coming. But
Yes, most
I'm
definitely.
kind of glad we waited till this point.
Hey,
Yeah,
It's been a lot.
Giving us a little bit of time to have, experience, this life that we're building. and
mess up
stuff.
some podcasts here and there. You know what I mean?
Tell me about the making of the album.
Well, the first album?
Yeah.
We
So-
only have one, right?
Yeah, the
we
first.
have
Well,
one.
you know, the other one's almost here.
On the work.
The first album basically is called Blacked Out.
Yeah, we different artists, no way we paint shit. We took your view with the game, homie, and changed it.
And it exemplifies the chemistry at first fucking glance. You know, we all had great times doing the 805 Live.
September 5th on the 805 Live. And 805 Live.
The first virtual concert in the 805.
I think that album kind of embodies the good times. You know, the initial meet of everybody. A lot of debauchery on the motherfucking album.
This liquor we pour it up, this Buddha we smoke it up.
Oh, yeah.
This next album's more calculated. It's got more conceptual songs.
Something that we want to say, not necessarily just, talking about partying.
You know what it was? To keep it a buck, is every time we met in the studio, it was like, yo, what you got to this beat? And we'd take time and write, and then we'd record it. Nobody took shit home. It wasn't like, oh, this is the idea for this song, let's go home and write to it.
Nah,
It was
really.
like, we penned it on the spot, we recorded on the spot, and we re-recorded certain ones because maybe we're a little too turned
A
up
little
at the
too
time.
turned.
Like, by the time we're done with that shit. But I guess that's why, right?
Yeah.
Is a lot. The theme is never-ending
We
party.
were just turned. In all honesty, we didn't really see that trajectory until the very end. We recorded all these tracks and we're like, all right, man, let's kind of like put something together. It's the kind of common denominator. We're like, oh, it's all just about drinking.
Fucking
It's all
degenerates,
just...
bro. There's deeper meaning in the lyrics.
Oh,
if
yeah,
you,
for
if
sure.
you listen.
I do what I want, and what I want is what I do. Do you live in the moment or just exist in a die too?
But yeah, you're right, man. As far as the hooks and shit, it was all a good time.
My favorite song was Early Birdie.
These niggas shot back when the Bangkok bag. They drop from muck, so we dropping that heat like hot rocks. No knockoff.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about that one.
I think that one was more about smoking. Still in the same lane, you know what I mean?
It was one of the last songs to be added to the album, but it was one of the first ones to be like, this is different. This is kind of what we want Darkroom to sound like.
It was basically about work, grinding.
Yeah.
Early birdie hits the worm.
Yep.
And our whole vision for the music video at the time, which we never did, was me will be like a dishwasher. I'll be in the strawberry fields. Crazy will be doing construction to embody Mexican jobs, hard labor jobs, and waking up hella early to get the worm. You know, trabajando. La chamba.
De niño le meto a la chamba.
The hustle. And it just so happened to have a smoking element into it.
Everybody knows it right away. As soon as they hear it perform live, they say, hey, man, that sounds so much like Bone Thugs. It was a nice homage to our brothers that came before us.
We're all fans of Bone Thugs, but
Yeah.
here's a little known fact. Back in the early 2000s, I went on tour with Bone Thugs as a merch guy. Bone Thugs and Kaz, and we went to 7 different cities. And that was the first time where that was made to sell CDs in the line. And I had these mixtapes that had like Brother Lynch, Sibo.
Old school shit.
They had all the Bay Area cats.
Oh.
And my job was basically before every show to go up to the line and sell these CDs. And that was the first time I got over the nervousness of approaching people in line, and to see Bone Thugs on stage every night was just crazy. I remember, I think it was Phoenix that had like a rotating stage.
Oh, that's tough.
yeah.
That's tough.
But these motherfuckers would get in arguments all the time.
Spit! Nah, nigga, I'm good.
And they'd show up with their different posses. And Light Skin Bone, what's his,
Busy.
yeah, Busy.
Light skin.
You know what I'm saying? You know, he was turned up all the time at that time, I remember.
I ain't afraid of you, nigga. Nigga, don't put your goddamn, I ain't afraid of you, nothing.
One time, he had to get carried out. I'm like, damn, but it sounded clean. He was still performing, like, pretty good. During that tour, taught me how to hustle shamelessly. So shout out to Bone Thugs, man. Spence busy.
Most definitely.
Yeah, and you said he used to be getting busy. He's still getting busy.
Yeah.
Wasn't he throwing microphones at
Damn.
Versus?
Not too long ago.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You ugly motherfuckers ain't finna be mocking me while I'm on motherfucking stage.
The verses. Yeah,
Don't call
that's
him Busy
true.
Bone for no reason.
Oh,
Yeah.
we get busy.
Microphones? Damn.
How did you guys form?
Shout out to the homie Blacksmith, actually. He's the one that introduced us to each
Deadline
other.
Records.
Deadline Records, motherfucker. Yo.
He kind of even, I ain't want to say forced it or pushed it, but you know, he's consistent on making sure we met. The Darkroom wasn't even supposed to be a thing. It was supposed to be a podcast thing.
What's cracking, y'all? It's Kontra, man. I'm here with the homies, and we want to let you know, man, we got a show coming soon called The Darkroom. You be talking hip-hop, current events, and all that shit.
With rappers talking about music.
Blacksmith, I actually met him at an event I was hosting, and he kept telling me, like, yo, I got these two dudes you got to meet. You guys would click it off. And then he told me the idea of doing this hip-hop podcast with the homies. And shout out to him, Kung Fu Panda.
Fresh.
Billy Panda was his company. His name on IG is Mr. fucking Kung Fu. And then I'm like, Kung Fu Panda. You see how I put that together? But nah, man, when I met these fools, the first time I told them, I said, all right, if we're going to do a hip-hop fucking show, we need to get to know each other first, you know what I mean? Get chemistry going. And that's when we cracked open our first beer, and then the rest is history.
It was a little awkward.
I remember T, we should do fucking shows, bro. That started this whole fucking thing. We're like, you know what? I like that idea. We could live stream it. Do it right here in this big ass yard. That's when we took flight and saw the beauty in like linking up different people from different parts of the 805. That was always tight. Actually, like fools from down here and to up in Slow and Santa Maria. From my perspective, to watch them meet each other and then fucking them chopping it up during the show. And later on, they got a song.
Yeah,
like,
they
in 2
start
months,
to
you know what I'm
collab.
saying?
I basically took the idea from Versus.
March 24th of 2020, in the middle of a global pandemic, mega producers Swiss Beats and Timbaland appeared on Instagram Live together for an unannounced head-to-head song battle, kicking off what is now known as Versus.
Quarantine music fans getting the treat of a lifetime.
Hundreds of thousands of people are tuning in.
That's Madison Square Garden 3 times over.
They crashed the internet.
Biggest event.
Monday Night Versus was the most incredible night of my life.
They're still throwing shows virtual. Now it's all on your phone. You don't got to go anywhere. They were like, why don't we just do this every month?
There was a lot of people that lost their jobs. A lot of people who were trying to find ways to feed their families and shit. And that's when my wife, Wildflower Jess,
I know you had to go through it to get through it.
She applied the 805 Live Humanity project as a part of it. I remember the freight that wasn't delivering antelopes. And all of them were going to go bad at the port. We brought a gang of them over. We juiced them up, gave them out to all the neighborhood. And that's kind of how it started. Like, hey, let's apply that to the momentum of the show. Winter came along and we're like, let's do a fucking coat drive. And that was the start of something beautiful. And that's kind of how we got through a lot of our little fucking personality issues during the stress of having to do this live stream for 2 hours and the preparation for and the setting up the flyers and a monthly show for like over a year is just insane. I still think back to that time.
There's a lot of
how
pressure,
the
bro.
fuck. We definitely worked kinks out and we got to have a well-oiled machine.
What made y'all decide to start a group instead of staying solo?
I mean, I think the point of this whole thing was like to do a group while being solo musicians. I think we started as that. We were all doing our own music. We all had our own labels. We all had our own teammates behind us.
I listened to these fools' music and I felt they were a presence already on their own. And I was hearing the shit that Crazy was doing with Demise.
He's the groupies love me, I'm humble. Don't look for trouble. You stumble, don't fall, you tumble. A fumble, call it a struggle.
I was hearing the shit he was doing with Paolo.
That's word to Nipsey, I do this shit for the hustle. Reppin' my city, I know that I'm never struggling.
That was real respectable. To have everybody's energy go towards that one fucking area, it was like, damn, it's powerful. And we brought adaptive into it.
Blank face, close case, then I go make a deal. I don't deal with the bullshit. Bodies in the water.
And I'm like, damn, this fool got some pipes on him. He's like Raspberry White.
I took the good times. I'll take the bad times.
Yeah. He's fucking Barry Brown.
Flow in the river, I'ma let him go. I'ma put him on posters, a room full of posters. I'ma wake him up, no Folgers.
And every time he tell me, oh, I got an old football player from fucking high school, I kind of always dismissed it. Nah, but when I saw his shit, he was amazing. And the first song we did as a group, Big and Bad.
I got the pedal to the metal and I won't settle for anything better than making fast cheddar.
That was the first song that we did for the album.
Meeting him the first time, I think, and that's talking for everybody. This guy's so powerful with just his presence. The way he treats you, the way he talks to you, you gravitate towards him.
So it's like the elements of the earth, and Adaptive is earth. He's the heart of the group. He's grounded. And not to get into everybody's superpower, but this is fire right here. Very short-tempered motherfucker right here. And this is wind right here, you know? This motherfucker got all the flows. Adaptive has always been that. I call him our spiritual advisor. You know, in times where we're all fucking stressed on some shit, Kontra, it's gonna be all good.
The world will
you
come
know what
together.
I mean? It's all gonna line up.
The universe always respects us.
He had a way of bringing in the calmness and calamity. Adaptive is really close with his family. His dad is super cool. His mom is coming to our shows, his grandma. And he comes from that very family vibe. And I think he brings that to this group too. Yeah. And he keeps us fucking tight and glued together when these fools are fucking battling each other and shit.
I like to bring problems to the team. When these guys are too comfortable.
I don't give a fuck, I'ma keep it above my movie, this is stealthy.
These guys are trying to get serious with shit, and then I just feel like the fucking vibe ain't there, you know. I'll be the one that's like, you know what, everybody shut the fuck up. Let's all put on gloves and fucking shut up. And then I'll bring the tension. Like, if I see you boiling up, I'll boil you up a little more. I want to see how far we can get as far as brotherhood. I could tell we're not gonna go too far with it, you know. But I want to push these guys to see what it is they can bring.
His willingness to experiment on the mic is fucking dope. If I solo some of his ad libs and his dubs,
He's like up here. My action ruthless, I'm feeling foolish. Go on and pass the bottle, watch me do this.
and you'll never hear that shit. It'll be in the back. T, you know, he's got multiple styles. This fool could bring the smoothness to it.
My bills all paid for once, but I've been running out of funds. I'm fucked.
He could bring some fucking raw rap shit.
Who knew my life would have changed when my grandfather died? Slip a little lick in his cup to kill the pain inside.
And he could sing.
It's alright, I get high.
And when we sing together, it's like my voice is more on par with his as far as like similarity.
I'm staring at the glass half empty.
And Crazy's he's our alto. And then fucking Adaptive's the baritone.
Man, no matter how much I drink, it don't do shit to me like.
Adaptive, you know, I told you what he brings. He also brings what we explained as his element of earth to the song, because he'll have little jewels that he drops on, like, of encouragement, like affirmations and shit. Like, you can do it. Keep going.
Salvation, hard work and dedication, the patience of taking many places.
So when you're going through shit, those words kind of just resonate more with you. And like I said, I brought the beers and I brought the pizza.
He's like the sergeant, the one that sends everybody to do what they need to do. The puzzle solver. We're all just throwing our ideas everywhere. He's the one that tones it all out. He's the one that works the mics. A lot of freaking backstage shit.
He's got the most experience out of all of us.
Oh, yeah.
And he's the embodiment of hip-hop. When you think of like a true hip-hop head, they eat, breathe, sleep hip-hop. Like, it's this guy right here. It only feels right to try to learn as much as we can and try to just soak up game every time that we're in the studio, because this guy is teaching us something, putting us on the game about something, trying to encourage us to do better, pushing us to do better. He takes his part as a leader very seriously. If you don't have that, then we're just gonna fuck around.
And you know, their willingness to learn is the why I continue. When we first met, it was one thing, and we've grown so fucking much since then. Even with freestyling, these two fools never freestyled when we met. And even Adaptive didn't really freestyle much, but he did.
But homie, you the worst dude. How you gonna step to me when you come with your khakis and you rocking your church shoes?
And then these fools crept in. I think a cipher is like energetic energy that keeps going. If you've really been in ciphers, man, it's something otherworldly, bro. And it elevates and it goes up, and then someone fucks up. But it's the brotherhood of it that is dope. And these motherfuckers have gotten super good at freestyling. We'll do exercises, all sitcoms. And then we'll be freestyling all sitcom bars. Fucking movies or cartoons. You know, their willingness to be able to focus their rap and to be able to just target these little areas makes them fucking powerful. I used to be very competitive with this shit.
You get your ass kicked, homie, yeah, I heard of you. No, I fucking did it, but I'm right here and I murder you.
Before I go on stage, I'm just watching the fool up there. I'm like, that fool ain't doing this shit. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go out there and fucking kill this shit.
My breath the west winds, making next business. Individual Mexican is organized and surprisingly threatening.
And now I can appreciate other artists, even if they're fucking whack. Because at the end of the day, we're all fucking people that are in our fucking studios or rooms writing this music with the hopes to perform it in front of a group of strangers one fucking day. And that alone, that little journey right there, I just resonate with that. I feel like almost everybody should do music because it's like everybody writing their own book. That shit's beautiful. If there wasn't so many fucking biters and people trying to make music like
The
someone
same,
else.
yeah.
One thing I learned, especially with men, we don't like to give props to each other. We're very competitive. Like in the graffiti scene, when you paint at a big ass graph jam, a lot of writers go by your wall and they're like, pss, 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 pss. They don't say shit. It's easy to think they're talking shit. One time I was going around in San Diego and I was feeling great. I was just giving props to people. I was like, yo, that fucking blue is beaming, dog. That yellow is saucy, bro. What the result of that was, they would come around and they'd be like, oh, probably told their homies, that's the fool that gave us props on our wall. And they're willing to show you love because you're the first one to show love. Nobody wants to be the first one to give props. Everybody is so self-entitled. Yeah. Everybody thinks they're the illest. Even if there's artists that aren't as experienced, I could find like, yo, that last beat was fucking dope, man. Who produced that shit? Find some way to compliment.
Now everybody that ever met you for it was like, damn, he asked me about my beat, not about my words.
The whole point is to spread fucking some positivity.
No, I get you, bro. Darkroom as a whole crew, we show love, and we also need to show love back if they show love to us, you know? And that's what we try to do every time we go in there. We listen to everybody, and we shake everybody's hand.
You guys think there's a benefit to
Oh,
having
for
a
sure.
group?
Oh, yeah.
There's pros and cons, let me tell you.
The pros are we have a lot of different styles. Everybody has different ideas, and we can all collaborate and make it work. So, I mean, what do you
So
think,
what a con would be like, before we're all solo artists, we're used to writing 2 to 3 verses a song. So as a group, now you got to focus your fucking energy on these 16 bars. Sometimes you might not even get a 16. You might have to do 8 because we're 4 motherfuckers, bro. Yeah. And do we want to have a 4 or 5 minute song all the time? No. So we're gonna split a 16 like a fucking sandwich. So if it's a conceptual song, when we did Briscoe's feature,
Beautiful Distraction.
Yeah, Beautiful Distraction.
Girl, I've been thinking about you all day long. You're on my mind like I keep hearing the same song. Mira, I'm Luther with the passion. Heart on my sleeve, avoiding Cupid when he capping. Don't mean to be a bother. Life is full of ups and downs like teeter-totters.
All I know is that I miss you when you're gone, and the harmony we have will always be my favorite song.
8 bars to talk about this certain topic. You have to be potent with it. It kind of just forces us to focus that energy. And one of the cons is, once you do that, you feel like you're done. As a 4-man group, I think that's why we had to turn our hustle up more. Because it was easy to just do, roll my 8 and I'm done. But that's part of keeping the intention and the direction true. It's like when we're here, we only have limited number of hours every week. Let's utilize this fucking time to the fullest. We don't got time to just fucking be kicking it. That's why when I get here, my first question is like, so what do y'all want to work on? Just keep it a buck, man. Artists, we got all the fucking time in the world. We feel like we do. Yeah. And that's why fools will hold on to songs for fucking years and shit. I rewrite my shit now too. I used to not rewrite shit. Same. But now I'm like, ooh, okay, I heard the homie spit and he delivered it something. I want to do something similar because we're also going to be on opposite sides of the song. So if he started the song and then it's T, then on the second verse, boom, I'm going to start my similar as him. And then it's going to go into adaptive, like these little symmetries that we do. Or if the hook says XYZ, I'm going to end my verse with W, XY, you know, whatever comes before XYZ.
T-U-V.
You know what I'm saying?
Trying to do the alphabet backwards.
I'm trying to do the alphabet backwards over here, right? Like Ice Cube, today was a good day. And then, you know, hook hits. So it's just like passing it on to the motherfucking hook and having it sew up seamlessly. Wait, who'd you say? Who's my favorite? Wait, who'd you say? Who's my favorite rapper? Big Daddy Kane. Cool G Rap. Rock him. Next question.
Next question.
Okay.
Tell me about your first song together.
Acid Pop Pills?
I done got pilled, done acid. But bong grips, so elevate off of that pit.
Acid Pop Pills, my boy.
Yo, that was tight. That was a good one.
That was a good. Hey, you know what? I think that's what kind of made it official for us to start making music. You know?
Yeah,
we tried it out.
True.
That was a tryout. It was like, let's see what we can do with this beat. I think it was a YouTube beat.
I produced it. I produced Acid Pop Pills.
Oh,
yeah.
there you go.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, man. I had one verse to it. I never did nothing with it. And when I remember we were going through beats, and then they liked that one, and I was like, boom. It was like an old 70s sample off the fucking hippie era. 60s.
It was the Darkroom before we had adapted on it.
When we filmed the video, I had this vision of doing it all in one shot. It was at the lab, so we started in the studio. We had the studio in the container, and then I spit my verse walking, go into the building, and then I pop out, and then T.fVnk pops out the bathroom. It's all smoke. We had a smoke machine in there.
Yo, rolling it up, smoking a blunt, go light it up.
And then he came out and he starts spitting, and he goes to the yard, and he sits down at the table to play dominoes.
Then it's just a mess, y'all know the rest.
And that's where Crazy's at.
You know that now we getting high to feeling right.
One of my favorite shoots because
that was cool.
It was creative,
It's
bro.
all one shot.
Yeah, I think we ran it like maybe 2, maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
Where did the name come from, The Dark Room?
It's all Blacksmith.
That was Blacksmith.
Yeah, he was.
Damn, he put you guys together.
He
and
really,
gave you the name?
yeah, he really did.
He's
like, it was like the RZA. You know what I mean?
He's not
For
part of the crew at all, though?
No, he's a producer. He's a producer,
Yeah.
engineer,
He helps us
super
out.
talented fool. He's the head of Deadline Records. He's like, why don't you call it the Dark Room podcast? And I was like, okay, that was the name of the podcast, not our group. When it came to the group, it just made sense because the whole Dark Room
rolled off the tongue. It felt right.
You know, like a photography dark room, you know, where the images come to life, where the ideas come to creation. I truly believe ideas are like radio frequencies. And the more you're trying to think of the idea, the more you're going to catch as we immerse ourselves into this shit.
What are some things you guys have accomplished as a group?
We've done a lot of shows, man. We've opened up, fortunately, for a lot of big names out there. Yeah. DJ Quick.
Yo, a day in the life of a player named Quick. I'm just a stubborn kind of fella with a head like a brick.
You know, the Product.
Esas putas no me igualan, ¿qué te pasa a ti? They tryna make another me, you know how raza be. They tryna hate on what I made but profit off of me.
We've been on the same bill.
Kontra.
To all the rappers who only here to gain green, I'll amputate them, raise the vibration.
Planet Asia.
Lambo race, Miami space, Scarface, high speed chases, dual exhaust your whole.
A lot of people we looked up to. I think one of my favorite accomplishments, because it was fun and because we worked so hard for it, the Thought Fest.
They won the Thought Fest battle last year, killed the Common Ground stage. This year they won the battle when they on this stage. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the Dark Room. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the Thought Fest competitions. We entered a competition to perform at a festival in Ontario. You know, there was a lot of talented motherfuckers that came from everywhere in California.
Yeah.
And I remember how hard we worked for that bitch. We got in front of that goddamn mirror and we recorded ourselves. We criticized ourselves.
True.
That's when we realized, like, damn, we could take this shit to a new level.
But I think before that, though, we had the whole lighter fluid thing going on. So I think that's where we kind of figured out that we got the confidence enough to enter, like, all these competitions after lighter fluid. Because lighter fluid was just, like, individually we entered 16-bar challenges and we all out of the whole team won it. Battle whoever comes in here, which is usually like 15 people. We ended up winning those twice in a row, consistently for 2 years. So
I mean, I honestly think one of our biggest accomplishments was hitting main stage at Surf Rodeo.
I got a very special introduction here. We got a group called The Dark Room.
7 a.m. I wake and bang in the morning, pay me, get that cake. Never let down myself, not now.
One of the biggest local festivals in Ventura County, by the grace of really
Allah.
By the grace of a really good friend of ours. He brought somebody who was a part of the board. He checked us out at one of our shows and he really liked us and he said, how would you guys like to rock it?
First hip-hop crew to ever rock Surf Rodeo.
Surf
competition.
That was beautiful.
I feel like you guys put your all into everything you do. Even my little online rap battles, you guys really bring it.
Forget the laws of the Holy Ghost. This cigar get holy smoke. Yo, I was down bad last weekend. Couldn't tell you what I was thinking. I've been living check to check.
Let's make it all worth it. In exchange for profit, we might leave you hurt, and it's the purpose.
We fucking enjoy taking a part in that shit because we're like, yo, you see what fucking artists and visuals is doing right now? Yeah. Shit's getting hot in the 805 right now, you know what I mean? And shit like that is inspiring to everybody, and I think it brings the best out of everybody too, because I found some fools that I wouldn't have normally found through that shit. You're like, damn, who's this fool? He's pretty nice. You know? But let me tell you like this: if someone's not giving it his all, we're gonna take them for a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Tell me about your studio sessions. What's the vibe like? Who's in control?
It depends on
Who's
how we all
off?
come in, man. You know, there's days where we all have a bad day and we're just talking shit to each other, especially me and this guy. But
I'll tell you like this: if we get to the studio and homies is like all fucking tired and shit, I put beats on and I battle these fools. When homies start battling each other, and emotion get involved. We all think, you know, but when you tap into that element of I'm disrespecting you right here, my boy. Like, I'm telling you, I'm talking shit to you. And you have to respond to that. It sparks a fucking primal instinct in you that you're like, okay, now your emotion's involved.
You do the...
And your mind is secondary almost. Like I said, we keep each other on each other's toes, but a session with the Dark Room is like that. We pull up, we might start with some freestyles. If somebody's lazy, we might all team up on them and just fucking all diss
just
them.
Run
you know
the
what I'm saying?
fade.
And then, you know, we get to business. Like, after we do the recording, we kind of like think of new song ideas. And that goes on for some time.
Or we could get real, you know, and just start talking about personal problems. It all depends on the
that's
day,
a fact,
you know.
too.
If somebody's feeling some type of way, we can all understand and we all get the vibe and we just end it at a certain time and we're just like, all right, let's just talk about what's going on, and who's feeling what and why.
A lot of people say the cliche thing, like music is therapy for them. You know, writing music is therapy, but like sometimes just coming to the studio and just talking to your homies, letting stuff out, venting, especially in a group. You got to make sure everybody's on the same page. Yeah. You got to make sure everybody's good.
You guys are all so different too. That's the craziest part.
It's such a weird dynamic, but it
balances itself out.
It's the perfect balance.
Some people are
earth,
soft,
air, fire, water.
Some people are hard. Some people are more logical about stuff. They think before they say. Some people just say before they think. I could say what I feel. But then homie will come in and be like, don't say it like this, say it like that. Man, like I said, it's a bonding thing. And when you see us, it's like, damn, these guys are like brothers. You know what I mean? Like, you can see the chemistry we have.
How do you decide who goes where on what track?
Or whoever's ready.
We let everybody spit and write whatever they want.
Yeah.
But we do eliminate whoever is not on par to what we want.
I like that word, eliminate. It's more like, come again, fool. You know, write some other shit.
You ain't making the track today, my boy.
Did they totally get kicked off the track? Or
yeah. You know what? We just started doing that on this.
On the second
We're a little more serious on that one.
Yeah, we're a little bit more serious on that one.
The first one was whatever.
The first one was like, okay, everybody's got to be on it. This one's more like, hey, man, if any of us are creating it, it's Darkroom. It could be a solo track by Kontra. It's still Darkroom.
So now when I listen to your guys' music and someone's not on there, I'm going to say they were not on their fucking A.
They didn't.
Yeah, they weren't on their shit.
Or they didn't append it in time. Or maybe they just weren't there that session.
Yeah.
It could be you miss one session, you might just miss the song.
You might, because sometimes
and it's all love.
It happens that fast.
And what we try to do is we try to get the missing homie on like the hook to do something. You know, and include him in the vocals somehow. You know what I mean?
Are you guys completely honest with each other?
Oh yeah, dude. Too honest.
To a fault.
Do you guys get your feelings hurt?
I mean,
that happens too.
You know
when you get over that shit.
You know who gets their feelings hurt the most? I think is our significant others. You know what I mean? They see the chemistry we have and they like kind of get jealous a little bit.
Yeah, I can see
that.
I can see that. They're like, why are you in the studio till 2 o'clock in the morning?
Why do you always want to be with these fools?
Yeah. We'll go to a bar somewhere and we'll talk like if it's like. And then they'll be like, we go to a bar and we don't talk like that. Why can you talk like that? It's just like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I could talk to them about anything. Like, you I could talk to also, but it's like not the same. Like, the way I say it to you is not like this guy. I can say it how I want to say it. Compared to you, I have to choose my words.
How do you guys want your legacy to be remembered?
If I were to die right now, would my music represent me? Imagine you making some fucking ratchet ass music, and then your grandkids are like, "Yeah, Grandpa used to make music," and then they put on it some ratchet ass shit. Like that's what I think of. What is gonna be left behind after I'm already gone? What pyramid could I build with this music? What of substance can I say? And there's certain struggles that everybody goes through that are just gonna keep occurring in humanity. That's why classic music is always good. You know, old funk music, old storytelling music, R&B and soul music. It has story, has content. Shit like that will never go out of style because it comes from a real place in your heart. I would want us to represent for the raza, prove that, yo, we some Mexicans that can spit too. They think we're just one way. They need to see all the motherfucking style we got. And now, finally, they're looking at Latino America to make money off of our culture when we never fucked with it before. So when I die, you kind of know about me a little bit more through the music and shit I said.
For sure.
We could say that we gave our all and put everything into. When we are gone, these are moments you can look back on, see who we were as a person. We left our mark on humanity while it was here. Being able to tell your story and have somebody relate to it. If I knew that I touched somebody like that, and in my lifetime, with with the song. Why you always gotta fuck out?
That was a good one. Nah, man,
you're such a dick.
Who you trying to touch with your music?
I think we all want to drop something and then leave something behind that people can be like, who was this guy? What did he represent? Personally, I also want to represent a good, influential person for my son.
That part.
So I have to make sure I give it my best. Legacy-wise, I don't even think we have an idea of what we're gonna do. I think the legacy itself is gonna show up when it needs to. We get a glimpse of it here and there, but I think we're on the right track and we'll figure it out as we go.
Hey, if you can, go cop that champion shirt. 805 on the back, Darkroom on the front.
I don't give a fuck. Ride with my burner and my beat turned up. AC blowing.
For them Dodger lovers, we love LA, baby.
See, I thought you hated sports.
So I do, but I also bootleg a gear. So before I was
he said I'm a hustler.
You know what I'm saying? Because I got a print shop. I fucking make gear. So when the Dodgers were at World Series like a few years ago, I was up and down them Dodger lines. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're waiting in to get into the show, Kontra was fucking rolling up that line. We got our shit confiscated before. So that's why I love sports.
Yeah, there you go. Yo, my name is Crazy P1p3.
It's your boy T.fVnk.
It's the homie Kontra.
And we are the Dark Room.
Boom.
Cuarto Oscuro.
Appreciate y'all. Much love.
Hey, let's go.